Hello friends, and welcome to the Hanged Man in the Moon. If this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you for coming. I'm pleased to meet you. If you've been here before, thank you for returning. I'm truly honored. Friends, if you are a returning visitor, you probably are a little surprised to see where I am because you've not seen this place before. In fact, very few people have seen this place before. This is my room in my home. I'm back in South Korea, and I just got here today, and frankly, I may not be in condition to be doing this video, but I thought I'd give it a shot anyways. Let's see what happens. Brain fog is what's happening here. But let's try. Let's see what happens. So, if you are new, let me tell you what's going on. This is my mini-series in which I am diving into a very particular and very deep and important deck called The Tarot of the Holy Light by Christine Payne-Towler. And this deck is based on the creator's research into the continental tarot systems, including Tarot de Marseille, the Thea, so many people from the continental tarot pre-1900, which is different from what a lot of us, myself included, are experienced with, particularly with the Golden Dawn based decks, such as the Smith-Waite, RWS, the Harris-Crowley, the Thoth decks. My background is basically in those, and I've branched out into Tarot de Marseille fairly recently, but this deck is different. So what do? I pull one card per day, and I look at that card, and I try to detangle, yes, the ideas, the symbols, the memories I have about that card in the Golden Dawn-based decks, the RWS, the Thoth. Because I want to confront the card I pulled for the day afresh, knowing that it's going to be sometimes parallel, but different from the other decks. So I want to detangle those ideas and look at it as purely as I possibly can and acknowledge those ideas that I know are coming up for me. So to help me approach the card afresh, I use 3 cards from a very comfortable, familiar deck called the Light Seer's Tarot. And I pull a 3-card spread. The first card is the significance of the daily draw. The second is the obstacle. The third is the advice. And so, what happened today? Today, the card I got was the 10. Let's see, where are you? There you are. The 10 of Discs upright. Now, this deck is used with reversed cards deliberately shuffled in. So this is the 10 of Discs, and you see that this is very different from, it's different from the 10 of Discs in many decks. However, if you recall, in Pamela Coleman Smith's art, the 10 of Pentacles card has this tree of life in it. It's just the discs. It's not as elaborate as this one, but it's there, very prominent in that card. So, when I saw this card, and at the bottom you see there, this is the Earth trine of Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Yeah, we've got the 3 Earth signs as the significators, as the zodiac associations for this card. So, knowing what I know now about this deck, I wanted to try to stay away from those ideas of inheritance and wealth and legacy and the family, but not the emotion. No, I mean, emotion is still there, but the physicality of family. Yeah, the home we live in, the support systems, all of that pentacle energy around family and supporting other people. So here, what I see, and what is clearly very prominent, is the tree of life. So I think, okay, so what's really important here is the tree of life, and being the Earth suit. The Earth suit, the discs is Earth, and this being number 10. We see this is the fulfillment of the tree of life. Yeah, there are 4 trees of life that you can imagine. Now, there's the fire tree, there's the water tree, there's the air tree, and there's the earth tree. That's the order that I learned from my study with thought. And they all overlap. So you can move from one tree to the other. But the last tree in at least all the systems that I know is the earth tree. And the earth tree, the very bottom, is the 10. That's where everything really becomes physical. Yeah? Where spirit has reached the pinnacle of manifestation, if that makes sense. So that's what I thought about when I saw this. I thought, okay, so here we have I don't want to say bottom, because I don't think of manifestation as bottomness, as like less than everything else, personally. So let's not call it bottom. Let's say it's the extreme of physicality, the extreme of manifested form, which means that from here, what do? We go back up. Because the trees of life, for me, are a cycle. And it doesn't have to be, you have to go through all of them to get down to the bottom and go through all of them to get to the top. There are pathways through all of that. But still, if we think of one extreme and the other, for me, it would be the Kether in the fire being the beginning, and then here we go, Malkut in earth being the other extreme. So this is the ultimate manifested form, and so from here the only direction we can go is a return to spirit. So today apparently would be my manifestation day, you might say. That's the way I started thinking about it. And so I'm to unpack that for myself, I pulled 3 cards. And let me show you those 3 cards right now. God, I hope I'm making sense. I really am not entirely sure. But the 3 cards I got, as you saw, were the 3 of Wands, the 3 of Pentacles, 2 threes in a row. The 3 of Pentacles is the shadow, the obstacle card. And then the Ace of Wands, new fire. Which kind of is cool, because that would be the top of the tree of the fire. Remember I was putting Kether, the fire Kether? Yeah? That's kind of the Ace of Wands seat, right? For the advice. So what I was thinking for these 3 cards was, well, so manifestation form. So I got here in the manifested form, so maybe I need to get my path, start moving in the path that I want to be going in. Now that's the 3 of Wandsness for me. It's the beginning of the journey in the direction I want to go. And you see this in this card, we've got the 3 wands burning there. It's very similar to card drawn by Pamela Coleman Smith with the 3 wands and the person staring out at the ocean, and usually there are ships sailing away or sailing back in to port. Instead of ships, we've got a female presenting figure to me holding a surfboard ready to go out and ride some waves. Make sense? That? Plotting a course and getting ready to go out and do it. Not getting ready, but going out and doing it. Now, the shadow side would be cooperation or working together or collaboration. And that could have a couple of meanings. It could be that one, there's a disjointedness with me and other people. That could be one. Or it could be the need to have the collaboration. If there's no collaboration, I can't do anything. That kind of mindset. Which is the mindset that I sometimes find myself falling into. I feel like I need to have people working with me to get something done. And if I don't get those people working with me, I don't feel confident in doing the thing. Yeah? So the advice is this, the Ace of Wands. You see the fire in the third eye, right? And the colors, some kind of rainbow, kind of alchemical, the blue and red of alchemy of the binary combining into a brand new flame. Right here at the third eye. So remember, so we have this vision, we've got this vision and a direction we want to move in. So this card is the vision, the new vision. Or it could be the direction I want to head in. Yeah. Now that I've got all this earth completely manifested, I want to head back up towards, or head back towards, I don't want to say up, head back towards Fire Kether. Maybe. Some of those are thoughts that came into my mind. So I went through the day, I lived my life, and then I came back home, and now I'm reading to you a little bit out of the book for the Ten of Discs. What do we have here? The Ten of Discs is long associated with the word castle. Built on a hill at the heart of the region, it offers a rampart of defense against enemies and a domicile big enough to shelter the whole community. We can see the Kabbalah tree serving the same functions for spiritually awakened souls in the astral level. So I'm not going to read a lot of this, especially the beginning, because I don't know, maybe it's my fuzzy mind, but it feels like if I'm claiming this, that I'm doing a little bit of my what do we call it? That spiritual ego might be inflated or something like that. It might seem like that. So I'm not claiming myself as this being who is at home in the astral level in the Ten of Discs. But let's move on. One could say that the tree is an earthly model of God's own castle in which humans are invited when we are mature enough to discover and occupy it. Now that's something I could potentially see that, yeah, I'm ready to occupy the manifested form of the tree of life here in the physical plane. That's something I might be willing to say, yeah, I think I'm ready. I think so. That's okay. So moving on. Moving on. Think of the Ten of Discs as the corporate identity that you belong to. Something larger than yourself that enfolds your private life inside its larger and unchanging stamp of order and routine. But everybody recognizes the card as a sign of a self-sustaining system. I think I skipped something here. Rather than a larger okay, let me try that again. Think of the Ten of Discs as the corporate identity that you belong to. Something larger than yourself that enfolds your private life inside a larger destiny. That makes sense, right? Some tarot authors emphasize the protective aspect of the castle, some the unchanging stamp of order and routine, but everybody recognizes the card as a sign of a self-sustaining system. So there's the self-sustaining systemness of this card, and that is a systematic thing. Yeah, it's a perpetual motion machine, maybe, and that we become part of the corporate identity that is part of that system. The Ten of Discs is Malkuth of the Earth world, the very bottom spot on the lowest tree in the unfolding chain of the four worlds, which is what I kind of already talked about. The earth element crystallizes under the invisible pressure of time and the cold hand of entropy, steadily fossilizing everything that doesn't crumble into dust. Moving on to... Thus, we have reached the nadir of materialism, insensitivity, rigidity, and externalization. There is nowhere to go from here but to rise up the elemental chain again. Now, those are some pretty negative adjectives, and those are possible. And I assume that especially when the card is reversed, those are more possible. But did you notice that we've reached a point where the only direction now is in the other direction? Towards, again, Kether of fire. Fire of Kether. Kether of fire is probably more correct. So, let me tell you about my day. So my day today, probably most of you who have been here before know that I flew to South Korea today. And I had purchased myself a business class ticket because I thought I deserved it after what my mother and I have gone through, and I just really needed a comfortable ride home, as comfortable as I could get. So I purchased a business class ticket. When I got into now this is for a 13-hour flight. And I got it at a very good price through the agent for our insurance agency, but I paid for it separately. When I got into the plane, I'm not sure if I was actually in business class or if I was in first class, but it was nice. It was very, very nice. I felt very, very well taken care of. I'm very, very comfortable. Even the 12-hour flight, I was able to rest and I had space, and it was wonderful. It was a wonderful flight. Food was great. Having a glass of water, not a plastic cup, but a glass of water, all those things were just so comforting. And I got here, and when I got here to South Korea, the first thing I had to do was do a COVID test. So I did the COVID test. All the things that I got my bags, I got out of there, all the steps that needed to be completed. There were moments of, things are going to start bogging down here, but they didn't bog down. It just ended up being a good flow. Sometimes it slowed down just a little bit, but who wants to rush? Well, of course, sometimes we want to rush, but I didn't want to rush through this because rushing through it starts getting me stressed out. I didn't want to stress out. So that slowing down, trusting the pace worked pretty well. And I got through all of that. And I got to the subway train to get me to the real train to get me to my home, and I got tickets for the train. Everything worked out fine. And while I was in transit, I felt honored by getting a very special, to me, offer from a tarot creator. I don't want to say who it is or what it is or anything like that, but I was offered the chance to perhaps be part of the group of reviewers for a deck. And it's a group of people who create decks that I just adore. And the person asked me my opinion of something else, and I suddenly felt more like part of the community. I'm not trying to say that I didn't feel like a part of the community before. I certainly felt like part of the community, but I felt more like, I don't know, I felt like I'd entered into a new mansion of the community. And I think that's a good word for it, especially considering this. I'd entered into a new mansion of the system of the community. And whereas I think collaboration, there are tastes of collaboration. This isn't going to be an absolute collaboration. This is people asking me to participate in something. Not collaboratively, but to offer my contribution, which is a little different, right? And so I guess I was able to get that vision going a little bit. And my brain is burned out. I'm sorry. That's as far as I can go right now, today. But I got both of those things in my senses today. That idea of having reached, yesterday there was the 10 of Wands, right? Now the completion. Now there's this completion of an ultimate, perhaps, completion and a preparedness for moving in a different direction. And that direction is this, maybe. Also, I've felt like I've entered a mansion. And that mansion has given me the potential to be moving in the direction of something that I had visualized for myself already. And that visualization is perhaps opening up new potential creative venues that I can nurture. Ace of Wands. So That's where I am. What do you think? Let me know. Let me know in the comments below. And friends, if you're still here, hit the thumbs up button so that YouTube knows that you have liked it and other people might like it. It helps draw eyes to the channel. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and hit the alarm bell so that you know when I upload videos. I'm still going to try and do one a day for a while, but then I'm going to be going back to a twice a week time schedule. That's it, the time frame schedule, when I go back to work in earnest. And that might be around September or before that. And comment below. I would really love to hear from you. And if you're interested in reading from me, shoot me an email, and my new email address is below, and we'll work it out. So friends, now, as always, I wish you love, joy, well-being, and pure awareness. Thank you.